it's really interesting that we were also in on that question about you got a bit of space. You had a redundancy which allowed you to have some time off. You had support of your family resources, so you could take a bit of time to think about it. So I guess maybe just back to Megan again. So what other resources supported you in your career change? Sort of the external things as well as your internal resources as well.
Thank you. I'm an eternal optimist. That certainly helps. Owning your own business, and particularly starting one as well. And I just had a belief in terms of internal things. I had a belief that I knew I had something to give. I had something different to give. It was my voice, my way of doing things, and to this day I still hold on to that like a life raft. That my voice is different, that my niche is different, that because I'm saying it, I guess I'm also an actor, so you've got to believe that as well as an actor, that your version of something is going to be unique and just as important as anything else. Particularly because I didn't have 20 years of experience. All I had was my own acting experience, you know, and just this belief that I might be able to do something. So it was kind of me trying. There were a couple of particular points. I was operating for 2 months, and then I had to close down my school because I only had 3 students, and it was crawling along very slowly. And 2 of those students weren't coming back, so I was down to 1 student. And it was actually at that time when Judith was retraining, and I was lucky enough that we did an amazing coaching session. And for me, having to close down was a gift in the end. Like it's a horrible feeling, but I then had to rethink. And that at that point in time, I got in touch with my voice and why I was doing it and what I was actually offering and why it was important. Because before that, I had somebody else's business hat on. It was somebody else's business hat. It wasn't mine. And so being able to have great people around you, going through a coaching session, made a massive difference. I reopened at the start of the next year, and it was successful again. And I've done that one other time again, another coaching session with Judith as well. Refocusing and going to a particular point and then going, what next? Having people there that can ask you the right questions, unpack your own brain. Being a business owner on my own, there's no one to bounce any ideas off. So having the support of really intelligent, wonderful people that can ask you the right questions, because I don't know what the right question is. And certainly also having great friends around me that can go, no, of course you can do it. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, it was a bit of both. Definitely having a team, a support group, a team of people around you that you can turn to at any time. And being a business owner as well, I don't have that. I don't have that in a corporation. I can't just pluck that. So to actually find that and keep those things in place, for me, has been really important as I grow.
Yeah.
Most of my career, I've been lucky enough to be positive. And as you say, as a business owner, you've got to be really very focused on what it is that you're about and what you're offering to your potential audience in terms of the service or the skill. So you become very tuned to that, and so I think you need to be aware, but also very positive that you can do things. And we were talking earlier, weren't we, about if you get an opportunity, just say yes and then work it out later on, because we often we hem ourselves in with a kind of negativity. And if I think of many of the opportunities I've taken, I really didn't have a clue at the time how I was going to achieve something, but I just went for it, and most of the time it came off. Sometimes it didn't, but it just who knows. So that's a sort of an inner belief. And then I think, as we touched on, Megan, just having a support system around you. I've been really lucky having a very supportive family who's supporting through thick and thin. And then also these days there's some amazing resources. Career coaching now is much more accepted, and I think it's a great resource. There's also lots of information you can access on the web, but anyways, I recommend that you go and talk to a professional, because they're going to help you find your strengths and what you've got to offer yourself and the world.
If I can I add to that as well in terms of the support group, because I work with kids mainly, that's where I spend most of my time. They're not great they're great for inspiring me in my job, but they're not really going to give me great advice. What I found particularly lately as well, because I don't work in a large corporation with peers, is surrounding myself with great podcasts and great newsletters and things that still, because I don't have it physically around me, drawing on other great achievers to just keep my mind, like that mental toughness, keep my mind in a great place. It's very easy to fall into a pit of, oh my God, I can't do this. And the way I combat that is that I just feed my brain with other great stories of people and what they've drawn on and their resources as well.
That's a fantastic sense of adapting to what you don't, realising what you don't have, and then finding a way that you can build it in taking advantage of what technology is providing now, etc. So that's a fantastic example. So thanks both of you. So you're both sort of solo entrepreneurs, at least part of your portfolio career. So I'm going to go now to somebody who's working within large institution. Well, so Cassie, how did this transition? How did you support yourself through this transition?
Support myself through the transition. So basically, I mean, one of the key reasons there were a few reasons I chose Westpac as my way into change management. And one of them was coming from small arts organisations, very limited resources, very small group of people, was to actually have that big increase of having peers and mentors and having that ability to have that, which I didn't actually even realise how big and important that was. So, and also because I had studied sustainability while I was doing my commerce and had done a report on Westpac, and I did their sustainability report, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, this is all just a bunch of words, is it real? And wanting to know if they actually lived by what they said. So my segue into change and into Westpac was quite fortunate. It was networking, and my mother is a big part of it, because my mum's changed her careers many times. She's not maybe what we see as your typical baby boomer. She actually changed her career constantly, and part of it is because she has quite a good self-confidence. She'll decide she's a chef, she's a chef. She decides she's a politician, she's a politician. She's been in book publishing, like ridiculously mixed career options, and she just that's what she is. So she pushed on the network because it was actually a family friend I spoke to, and she was a senior change manager at Westpac. They have significant amount of regulatory change, so changes that the government is putting on. And this senior change manager was saying, oh, we forever don't have resources. And I said, oh, well, could I volunteer? And they're like, oh, okay. So it took a lot to actually convince the organisation to let me work for free, because a concept that didn't work very well in a corporate world. I wasn't part of some normal internship or graduate or something, but we managed to convince them, and I worked for free, and it was a great experience, and it was the foot in the door that got me, and then I managed to have coffees with people there, and one of the change heads said, oh, we're always looking for people like you, and then I managed to actually get my role there. And from that, I think that's where my confidence increased, because of that network. And you're lucky that you actually have these amazing talks where you have the general managers and the CEOs talk about their career and what brings them, into their roles, especially like when we had women in leadership forums. And a big part of what they would say is about backing yourself. And I went, oh yeah, that's so true. Like, I think the times when I succeed is when I'm confident and I'm backing myself, and I'm actually will take that leap as well.